Tong, when you hear the word radical activist, what comes to mind?
Radical for me means unconventional, going beyond the convention, beyond common sense, and beyond what we sometimes believe in, true or not. So really going beyond the boundary, I think that's radical means for me.
I guess really, really radical. That's not a descriptive term, but really radical people like I guess like I don't know if this is very extreme, but for example, like there's a suicide bomber who's very strong in his or her beliefs. That'd be a very radical activist action to kill yourself in order to, I don't know, kill others, to do whatever you believe. Also, I say when my women's college is protesting, I wouldn't necessarily say we are radical, but by normal society standards, we were probably viewed as radical activists.
Well, first I get really excited because I think that's what our Earth needs right now. And I think of a radical activist as someone who's not going to be complacent, and they're also not going to limit what their heart's intelligence tells them. They're going to push boundaries. They're going to tell the truth in ways that our culture doesn't like hearing. And they're just going to be so honest in how they live and how they motivate the change that they see needs happening.
Radical activist. Oh my God. Radical activist would be like, comes to mind. Ai Weiwei. Do you know that Chinese artist?
I don't know.
And he's a radical activist.
What did he do?
He's really trying to change China.
Oh, okay.
He lived in New York for a little while.
Oh, okay.
So he experienced West, and he wanted that kind of freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and what he's doing is pretty amazingly radical.
Wow. Can you give me an example?
For instance, when that earthquake happened in China, so many people died, so many children died, yet government didn't show any numbers. Then he thought of collecting every children's name, age, who died, and he's also getting a lot of pressure from the government, but I don't know, I just find him so courageous what he was doing, and very, very sensitive at the same time.
Thanks.
Well, I'm a person of the 60s, and I was a radical activist at that time, so that's what I think of, marching against the war, marching for civil rights, marching for women's rights, and, very incredibly powerful and painful memories of particularly 1968, and wonderful memories of getting on the bus in Minnesota, piling into vans and driving to Washington, D.C. to be in the huge peace marches that happened then.
Wow.
Unfortunately, what the news would get was there'd be literally a handful of people at the end of the day that would start breaking windows, and that would get that attention. So the general public had no idea what it was like to be there, that it was a profoundly spiritual experience, being in that huge crowd of people, that everybody was there in such a peaceful manner, and they felt so safe and loved.
I have profound strength.
Okay, so I like that. I have, fighting really for what you believe in, not letting anybody else tell you who you are or what you can or can't do, and just going for it.